Showing up for ourselves in terms of what feels right and what feels wrong is a way of loving ourselves. It's a self check. I can think of countless times I've allowed things and people in my life that were not good for me. This was not showing self love. Having the boundaries and showing up for myself and what I believe to be right for me and not allowing anything less is one way I practice my self love. It's windy out there. I'm sitting by the window and I'm like, woof. Anyway, it's spring. Hello, spring. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Heather Baxter. I am a faith teacher. That's what I do here. But I also love to just be real with my sisters and just kind of have those chatty days. Either those chatty days where we're doing home reset and we're decorating for spring, or maybe you're coming into my office and I'm teaching you on a new workbook that we have here on this channel that we're working through. And so I'm more in a teaching mode. Well, today I'm coming to you as a friend, and just like you, because I encourage all of my sisters here to reset their journals on a quarterly basis. We all know that we are already 3 months into 2024. I can't believe it. Like, I feel like I just put my Christmas tree down and I don't know, we were just celebrating Christmas here and Thanksgiving. So we are going into Easter. Easter is next week, 3 months in. So this is actually a reset too for April. So January, February, March, goodbye. What happened in that last quarter for me? Well, there's no way in this video I'll be able to explain all of this if you're just coming here for the reset portion and you're new to me. We have these journals that we work on, but specifically I work on. I've been using a dream journal for 25 plus years to kind of just balance my life out. You know, there's pillars in all of our lives. And today I want to specifically talk to you about the pillar of my physical life and kind of my mental life, because the two really went together. And honestly, if I can get really honest, your physical life and your mental life will really flow into your relationships and your career. Physical has a lot, carries a lot of weight. It really can mess you up. And so I'm going to be a little real. I'm going to talk to you about some struggles that I really have had and how my Dream and Explore workbook, even if I was not as disciplined, even if I wasn't showing up, it was still in front of me. And when God was ready to give me a real big kick, which it's a friendly kick, I knew as I reflected back on some of my pages where everything was coming to. Like I could feel the head coming, if you know what I mean, based on all my journaling. So to make a long story longer, no, I won't do that. Let me talk to you a little bit about the end of 2023. I was coming into the end of 2023. I don't want to say the word depressed or full of anxiety, because I work with women and I coach women all the time that have those struggles. And I definitely wasn't feeling that, but I was definitely struggling with confidence issues. And it was more so, and I'm going through this right now, because the day that I sat down and began to brain dump how I felt, I'm going to show you in my journal, I really kind of started off with a picture. And if I could tell you a little bit about this picture on how I was feeling, I have words down that say hard to keep going. I can't stop. I stink at schedule and routine. Why is it so hard to do things at this age? My brain sees and wants a vision so bad, but I'm not getting there. I'm more of a towel than a title, which is good. That's good, but sometimes you feel like you're worn out when you keep moving forward, but you don't see other things coming together. I'm struggling with feeling loved and encouraged, and sometimes everybody around you is going to encourage you and love on you, but there's times that you just feel that way. You just feel that way, and it's okay. It's completely healthy. It's just a season that I was in. Inflammation, hip, limbs are very sore. My feet are sore and lazy. Like, I have all of these areas circled. I have no real challenge but my family has never seen my wins. Okay, specifically, I will talk about my mom and dad. Love them to pieces, but they're very critical. Many of you know that I've written many Bible studies, many books. My mom does not see that. My parents don't care about that. And a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, I've been watching you forever. It's not an issue, but when we're critical about other things in life and it just wears on you. So that was wearing on me. Plus my parents were getting a little older and I'm learning to love them without boundaries at the same time. Very, very tough. Thank you, Jesus, for such a wonderful husband. Again, I'm being very real here. As your coach, as your teacher, I think it's great that you see the other side, that my Bible study that I'm doing right alongside with you, the content that I'm creating for you on a monthly basis, right alongside with you. I go through the same struggles. And you need to know that. And God is so real in my life. He has really pulled me through, especially now. But I stayed in this valley for a while because I chose to. And I'll share that in a minute. But I'm not in no place that's scary. I just was brain dumping. And that's what I love about this book. I will get down the worst feelings when I write. And I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go the next day once I get the scribbles out. So it's not like this really bad, dark place that I'm in. It's not at all. It's what I do. It's how I journal. Good thing I had my boobs done. First of all, I have to say thank you, Jesus. This was on my dream board for a very long time. I want to say 10 years it was on my dream board. I finally faced my fears and did the most incredible thing because it has helped me propel every area of my life the last couple months. And I'll just tell you where I'm at because it's so amazing coming out of how I was feeling. I knew this surgery was going to be what I needed to do. I have just gotten lazy the last year, extremely lazy with working out. And that was never me. Well, I'll tell you what, when you are idle, and I just did a video on this not long ago, really when I was teaching you, it was specifically speaking to me in my physical life. When you're idle, you are going to gain weight. If this triggers you, my wording, then I would say jump off. I am being really real. Wow, my pants aren't fitting, my tops don't look right. And when you just don't feel good, I just don't show up the way I want to show up. And I'm still teaching, I'm still there, I'm still showing up, but I some days was not feeling just ready to go. There were other things going on in my life. I would say that my routines for PM on my husband's schedule, coming home, and sometimes us hanging out in the summer, we weren't eating until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then I will be honest, we would enjoy a couple glasses of wine every other night. That's not healthy. That's sugar. And if it wasn't that, it was some ice cream and just food that was not healthy. I was just not watching. Eating late hours, waking up, snacking, going to the lake, snacking. Everything was loosey-goosey. And I began to see that. Not only physically, but mentally. Everything was very foggy, not used to having that much sugar in my body. I was always very routined, especially having to be disciplined in the sports that I was in. I understood what that meant. Well, I got sloppy. So I was very disappointed when I looked in my journal and I looked back at all my other journals and just really sat down and I had a time with God. And God really started speaking to me in Amos. And if you listen to some of my past videos, Amos is a book in the Bible, and it talks about plumb lines in alignment. Well, my word for this year is alignment. And God was really roaring at me saying, you, sister, are going to bring some things in alignment. You have gotten sloppy in this area, this area, and this area, and God will give you the words. God will show you the places. I'm not going to reveal all those little places, but God was showing me this and this and this and this. You bring all this in alignment, you are going to feel better and you are going to experience change. So the first of the year, all the junk that's up here that was really bothering me. Number one was getting a breast reduction. I made my appointment, my consultation in October. I knew that I had to get this checked off of my vision board in order to really move forward next year. I could not see this vision just placed onto the following year because of my fear of going to the doctor and having the procedure. So I ended up having the procedure on January 26th, the beginning of the new year. Also, my husband and I took January, called it dry January, which means we were not drinking any alcohol. And I really don't drink a lot except for wine. We love very good fine wine with our dinners. There was none of that. There was also no eating out, no restaurants. We were really just disciplining ourselves. No sugar in my coffee in the morning. I was also on a Daniel fast, and really just needed to detox from everything. And the power of God inside of me was there. And what really helped me get there was preparing for my surgery. So January 26th, went into my surgery feeling absolutely great. Blood pressure a little high because I was anxious. Came out of my surgery and continued on the journey all in February because I felt so good. Body was healing really fast. Really spent all of February looking at myself inside and out and reviewing. Really spent time with my husband. We were really reflecting. He got on board with this whole fitness challenge. We have a huge gym in our basement, but we also re-signed up to go to the gym during the week just to get out of the house. So we have been at the gym during the week 4 times a week, here 2 times a week. And this was after I healed. This was 6 weeks after my surgery. So we're talking January, end of February, March, where I'm at now, has been amazing. The whole month of March, I feel like a new person. I'm down 10 pounds. I still haven't went back to our negative routines. Our PM and AM routines, absolutely amazing. There were times that I was staying up so late and just not on a schedule that when I had to get up in the morning, I would just go with the flow. Well, the go with the flow, I was still getting things done with the career, but the dreams that God was pressing on me for career, you can't go with the flow as much anymore as a ministry is growing. It just doesn't happen. And so whatever your dream is, your work is, you really need to be in balanced in every area of your life. God was saying, hey, I'm going to expand and give you more, but not if you don't show up. And I knew that I needed to show up mentally and physically. And so setting this whole PM routine where I was in bed by 9 o'clock and really putting the whole family, which basically it's me and my husband, my daughter's here too, but we got on this routine and we got sleepy time teas. We stocked up on tea. We were eating dinner by 6 o'clock, and that's hard to do in the summer too. So we were just talking about our reset for the next quarter. Like, we are bringing this into the summer. We are not going to be, because it stays light out. And so we think we got to work and stay outside. Yes, we can stay outside and play, but we are still eating at our dinner time. And my husband are really bad with that, because we're outside, we'll keep going and then go, oh my gosh, we're so tired, let's eat at 9 or 10. Not happening. We are still going to stick to our bedtime schedule. Self-care for me has been absolutely amazing, taking care of my body. Going and getting facials. I had my first hydrofacial, which was awesome. Just having some massages to get inflammation out of my body, really watching my supplements, watching and studying about my probiotics and prebiotics, all of that, tried a few things, found the right strain. That'll be for another video. That's where I've been the last 3 months, studying myself so that I can show up better. And let me tell you, perimenopause is a real thing, girlfriends. It's a real thing. It'll rob you mentally and it'll rob you physically. And I was done with being lazy, and I was done with that being my excuse. And so really, once I had everything done here, which by the way, I am a beautiful C now, and I'm super happy. I don't know if you can kind of see, but they're beautiful. They're so light. I have no more neck pain. Look at this little bra strap. What? I mean, I was wearing honking bra straps. This is so little, and I can actually go without a bra too, which is amazing. I'm going to Florida soon, and some of my dresses are strapless, and all I'm going to do in the evening is just put a little pad on the nips, you know? I'm like, oh my gosh, that just elevated me. And so now I'm like, I want to get myself in shape. I want to lose the pounds, and I want to stay on that routine. And I have really put negative, critical people out of my life. I love my parents. I've said this before, but when I gain a pound, they're going to be the first ones to tell you. That's just my family. My mom and dad will let me know. My dad just told me not long ago, you were doing really good a few years ago. What happened? You gained all your weight back. You better be careful. And so those little comments that people say to you, they weigh on me heavily. So those were the ones that took me down a really black hole. And it really kind of started after my 50th birthday. I fell on my 50th birthday last year. If you've been part of the ministry, you knew that if you were following me. And I really had a hard time after that. That fall really messed with my hips. It messed with my knee. I got shots in my knee. I came back around and I'm finally feeling better. But now I'm on such a routine that I am walking every single day. Every single day I am walking 45 minutes. Then I switch between abs and legs and stretching. Every day. It is not missed. For one whole month after my doctor gave me the go, my doctor even said, really concentrate on your BMI, really concentrate what's coming into your body and out of your body. So I am not on no calorie deficit or anything. I am just studying, maintaining. I usually don't have breakfast until about 11 o'clock unless it's the weekends and I'm with my husband. I've shut out carbs. Like I said, sugar is a no. The only time that I'll have a drink is on the weekends if my husband and I go out to dinner, but really was jotting and journaling everything down that was coming in and out. My husband also was doing that. So we really cut back on a lot of things. And if you know us, one of our things are cooking together, enjoying going out to eat together. We love that. So we really have enjoyed a new way of cooking, a new way of hanging out, a new way of discovering burrito bowls and salad bowls and salmon bowls. And doing this together has been huge. We really prayed together. I told him, he knew I wasn't feeling good. He could tell I just wasn't showing up, going out with friends happy. If they took a picture, I'm like, delete it, don't put it on. And you would think, gosh, really? Because you teach all the time, you show up. No, God supernaturally anoints me to do that. And I am full of that passion. But when it comes to me in this personal time for me to talk to you about an area of our life wheel being my personal and my physical, this is my biggest reset. This is the area of my wheel that I am concentrating on the next 3 months, especially April, May, June, because we're getting into the summer. And you would think, well, that's the time to get sloppy. It's summertime now. We get sloppier with our time. We get sloppier with what we eat. No, this is where God's saying you need to stay disciplined. So I know it's a little bit more on the chatty side. A lot of my books this month are Power of Discipline. A lot of the things that I'm writing down are mastering, what's hindering you, mastering just risky behaviors, risky. If you have a routine and you stack it, how are you stacking and unstacking? So my husband and I have been unstacking certain things that we would do. We would eat dinner late, sit on the couch. Now we stacked the gym. We go to the gym right when he gets home from work, which is around 5:30. We stack that. I already have dinner prepped, so I stack at 3 o'clock now. Things have to be ready for dinner. We're not just questioning it when he gets home. I think becoming an empty nester and not having any kids around, we really kind of just went, oh, whatever works. Whatever works on your schedule, whatever works. We got so laid back. That's dangerous for me because I have a busy calling. God's called me to something busy, so I really can't be lax. And if the enemy could create that, which he was, then he wins because there's no extension to what God wants until I can handle what he's given me. So with that in mind, again, achieving and mastering self-discipline and really working on myself to be a healthier person, to show up for myself, to have a healthier mindset, to look at in the mirror and say, high five myself and say, you are amazing. You are going to have a great day. And it's just between you and God. Who cares what everybody else says? This is my journey now. And I made a comment not too long ago on Instagram. Boy, I'll really give somebody something to talk about, because you know how when people lose like 20 or 30 pounds, they're like, oh my gosh, my family doesn't talk about things unless it's something like that. If you just published a book, or gosh, publish 12 books in a year, that's not anything to talk about. Let's talk about all of the things that we can see, all the little critical moments. And it's hard. It really weighs on your self-confidence. So for me, I had to retrain myself in a confidence way, and I had to get out of my mind. And that is really what I was working on after that surgery. It was me time. I was down all of January. I was down all of February, really resetting mentally. Still showing up, doing the Unfailing Love Bible study, which I really needed with my time with God. I really needed that. And then I just feel like I'm showing up and I'm here. Like I feel so good. I feel there's just something so positive. Going to bed, I'm getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep, solid. I've never slept that good. And maybe it's that sleepy time tea. I don't know. Also, getting up by 4. I'm up between 4 and 5:30 every single morning, and I just love it. I was never that early of a morning person. I mean, I was always a morning person, but not like ready to go morning person. And that has felt good. I think the elimination of sugar, caffeine, there's no caffeine. I will have 1 cup of coffee, and that is it in the morning. And I have changed all of that drastically. Also, my water intake is up huge, and I'm feeling good about all that. I'm just starting though. March has been the day. See that calendar? I have been so for me to come on and say, look at me, that's not happening. Kind of, this was very vulnerable for me to come on, especially as a coach and a teacher, because I coach so many of you. And you know what? God's anointed me to do that. I'm not going to take that back. I'm not going to be afraid to say, hey, I've been struggling here physically. I'm not proud of myself physically. It doesn't mean I can't show up for others. I absolutely can. It's just one area that me and God have been hanging out in and doing a little wrestling, if I may. So I just wanted to share that with you. I talked to God, really wrote some dreams down about my well-being. I'm excited. I'm excited about where God and I are going to go. What I would love for you to take from this is life is a journey. Life is an adventure. You may be going through your own physical health crisis. Maybe you have a diagnosis or something that has just set you back. Things can set you back. A relationship can set you back. Comments can set you back. And that might mess with your physical part of your life wheel, which then also messes with your mental. When you're not feeling very good physically, it messes with the mental part. Do you know, your personal life? And then you're just different around showing up, for events or holidays or social gatherings, because you just don't feel all there. Does that make sense? You just you struggle with it. I showed up all summer. I'm the one where everybody comes to my house. I'm always showing up, but deep down inside, me and God were having some talks, some real heavy talks. And those talks really started in December around Christmas time. Just really, really had some good talks. And then God's voice tended to got a little bit louder in January, kind of like a roar. And he really began to speak to me. And I'll tell you what, it was my morning time. It was my morning writing time. And I always teach you that I have routines that are non-negotiable, and they're my AM routines. My Bible study time, my spiritual Bible study time is so important. So that is never left, and I'm thankful for that, because that's where God prepared me for the surgery, anointed me to keep going in the ministry, and also helped me see the areas of self-discipline and alignment, because that's my word for the year, that needed to come in order. So with all that in mind, I've been exploring. When it says explore, I've been exploring parts of my life, and I'm thinking, I'm coming out. I made it through the surgery. I made it through some hard times with God. I made it through some tears of just feeling disgusted in myself because of my lack of discipline in some areas. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I'm excited. I'm excited with what God's going to do with me in my physical area. My physical area is helping me already show up better for what God is doing in HB Ministries. And God is pouring out visions now. Pouring out visions. And I'm like, okay, God, I can see where you stopped a little bit. His hands aren't off, but in your life, he will pull back so you can catch up a little. And I feel as we're going through perimenopause, you're running through peanut butter sometimes, if that makes sense. And so thank you, if you are part of the ministry, for your grace in some areas. It's been a little bit hard, but it's been good. I'm still here. I'm still excited for what God's doing. I just wanted to show up and share where my real physical struggles were. And they were just a lot with my confidence, my self-esteem, and my physical health. And my physical health mainly was my weight. And that is something that has always bothered me. And I'm one that can go up 25, down 25, up 25, down 25, up 25. If you're like that, leave it in the comments. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm getting back where I need to be. And I know God loves us no matter what we look like. So again, if you're in a place going, I'm struggling with that too, 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, you feel better. Sitting and just doing exercises with your arms, you feel better. And I'll tell you what, at this season, this stage in our life, our body needs to be worked out with weights. It needs to stay strong. This is the most important time that we need to be walking and staying strong. I will not get lazy. My body will not get weak. My muscle mass will not change. And so I really had to say, you know what? I'm showing up. I'm disciplined and I'm going to be my best self. So that is how I reset. That's what's going on in my personal life. I will come back on and do a reset for the career because there's some great things going on in HB Ministries. And I'm so excited that I'm caught up with myself so that I can run with this stuff. But again, thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. I love you, sisters. All is good. And I will see you in the next vlog. Bye-bye.